Hello, Dr. Ruchi. Am I
Hello,
audible?
ma'am.
Yeah,
Yes, ma'am. I'm audible?
yeah.
Okay, okay.
So, can you just try sharing your screen? We will check. So, one done. Then we'll have a basic introduction. Then we will start session.
Okay, just a minute. Let me try. I guess it's visible now.
Yes, we
No?
have shared the entire screen, right? Yeah,
Okay.
it's visible.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's okay. So I can wait over here with the presentation. Okay.
So, we will begin the session. I request Dr. Arunava sir to share a few words about our InnovaWorld Research Center and also to express our gratitude to our experts of today's session. Over to you, sir.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Good evening, Dr. Ruchi.
Good evening, sir.
Okay, so let me introduce about our research center first. I, Dr. Majumdar, as a research head of Innova World Research Center. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all to this week's skill development program on artificial intelligence and machine learning in industrial engineering, organized by the Innova World Research Center of InnovaWorld Private Limited from November 4th to November 11th, 2024. This program makes a significant step toward equipping professionals and enthusiasts with the advanced tools needed to transform industries, solve complex challenges, and push the boundaries of innovation. As India's first private research center registered under MSME and established in the Hooghly district of West Bengal, InnovaWorld Private Limited has always aimed to be a pioneer in education and research. Our journey began with a YouTube channel inspired by the visionary of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam and has since evolved into a multidisciplinary research hub that focuses on STEM, especially in the aerospace and aviation sectors. Today, we continue to uphold that vision by expanding into emerging fields like artificial intelligence, machine learning, industrial engineering, integrating them into sectors where they can create the most impact. I welcome Aishwarya Dhara, founder of Innova World Private Limited, also the founder and CEO of Skyfi Tech, co-founder and director of Thames Tech Solutions, and she is also acting as a department coordinator of the Department of Aerospace Engineering, JNA University. I also welcome our Chief Technology Officer, Engineer PK Dhara, former Assistant Scientist, VCC, in the Department of Atomic Energy, India. So I welcome our today's guest, Dr. Ruchi Chauhan, who is a distinguished academic professional, and he had an experience of 5 years of experience. He is an assistant professor of the Department of Mathematics and in a lovely professional university. So he has completed his PhD in 2024, and she has published a lot of research papers, and which has a lot of impact in industrial engineering and sustainable development. Basically, here she has worked on the industrial optimization techniques and the data analysis. So over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Uh, can I start now?
Yes, yes, you can start now.
Okay. Okay, so very good evening to everyone. I am Dr. Ruchi Chauhan. Today I'm here to discuss something about industrial optimization and sustainable development that is going on. The key point which I am going to discuss today is these topics, but it's all about going to be revolving around the research that can be done on these topics and how the things are developing in these two topics that we can discuss over here. So, before going into the detail of these two topics and bringing that one, I would like to introduce the model on which we have worked upon it, so that you get a basic idea that what is optimization and how it could be implemented, how it was implemented, and how sustainability can be applied, and what is the main purpose of applying the sustainability and optimization techniques when we are talking about any of the industrial model. So this is the basic industrial model with on which we have worked upon, that is we were working on supply chain. When we talk about, like, a brief intro I'm giving of this one, that when we talk about the supply chain, we basically talk about all the parties which are involved for the manufacturing of a product, that so that the final product that reaches to the customer is it's going through a lot of people, like from suppliers to manufacturer, dealers, and then to the customer it is finally reaching. So basically we are revolving around whole supply chain. We are talking about this one, so that we can see that how the things are flowing and how they are earning the money and how the revenue is generated and how the profit is generated and how they optimize it for so that the maximum profit they can attain from it. And with this we have one more with supply chain only, we have one more thing, that part which was introduced over here is the dual supply chain, in which we are actually reaching to the customers not only through the traditional system, we are trying to reach to the customers through the online system also, since in today's scenario everything is available online. So basically this is introducing the online system platform also to the customers. So now we are having the same customer is able to reach to the is able to get through the product from online and offline channel mode, both the one. With this we have one more angle which is introduced in our research, which we will be talking about, is the uncertainty. Since the today's scenario, the world is totally unpredictable. The daily scenarios are changing, the situations is changing, in every hour the things are changing. So based upon that one, we have a lot of development. We have we have introduced the uncertainty in the demand we are talking about, because of the behavior of the customers are changing. They are, if they are having any particular demand of that product this month, it might be possible after 1 month they don't require that product. So accordingly the model is structured in such a way so that the uncertain environment of the society or the world can be taken care of it. With this we are basically introducing the fuzzy technology also, because with this we are having lack of information of the products. When we are talking about uncertainty, we have lack of information about the data of the since it is ever changing environment is happening. So we have lack of information of the what is going to be the demand of the customers. So we don't have that much of the data. So with this we are introducing the fuzzy, which will be taking care of it, how the customers are going to be dealing and how the things are going to be flowing in the supply chain. So basically we have the scenario is taken, and in this we have assumed that yes, we have uncertainty environment, we will be following the probabilistic approach, we will be following the fuzzy approach, so that the accurate information can be taken care of it. So with this we have, I've introduced one, I'm talking about one of my models that was having involvement of the carbon regulation in the smart dual channel supply chain for the customized products with uncertain environment. So basically we are going to revolve around the carbon emissions, carbon regulations, and the uncertain environment that is existing. So basically, we have profit equation that we have evaluated, we have worked upon it. We are calculating the profit of the industry that is manufacturing the products. For example, they are manufacturing the cell phones, and we have calculated their various by looking into the various parameters, starting from their setup cost to holding cost. We have calculated the profit by subtracting all the cost from the revenue. We got this equation, we got this mathematics equation, but which is giving us the profit of the industry. But now on this one we are trying to impose the some of the, we want to see that how the carbon emissions are happening while transporting from one of the pillar to the another pillar, like from suppliers to the manufacturers, from manufacturers to the distributors, and finally to the customers. So we have applied one of the carbon emission cost during the transportation, and with this we have also applied the penalties. Since today is a scenario, there is a lot of carbon emission, so government and a lot of greenhouse gases emissions are there. So the government has imposed the penalties, they have brought the rules and regulations, and where they are imposing the penalties on the firms, those who are actually having uh, more carbon emission than the required amount, which they are harming the surrounding environment. So they are imposing the penalties on that one, depending upon how much carbon emission they are doing and how much carbon emission is going on from them. They are imposed the penalties. So industries basically consider these are also taken care of it by the industries, because ultimately it will be the tax will be imposed on the industries. So when we are talking about the carbon emission, it's basically a carbon footprint. Why we are talking about it? Because of the climate changes that is happening around our surroundings, that is the main concern over here, where main reason that we are talking about carbon footprint. If we talk about as a layman, what are my carbon footprints? A car includes emission from everywhere, from my working, from my home. There is a from transportation and daily life. The things are going on in our daily life. We do it. We burn even a small leaf. That is also doing the carbon emission over there. It is also emitting the carbon monoxide. So that is all is happening with the carbon, that is all is counted in carbon footprint. It also includes the greenhouse gases from burning fossil fuels like gasoline, using energy like natural gas, and the gases emitted over the life of the products you buy. Could be footprint counts more than just carbon. It's not just carbon only. We have a lot of different carbon greenhouse gases like nitrous oxide, methane is there, chlorofluorocarbons is there, which is emitted from the ACs or from refrigerators. Count towards the carbon footprints. These gases are also called as the greenhouse gas effects, because they are ultimately all collaboratively affecting the greenhouse. But it is not just the people who has carbon footprints. It's not just us. We are not only we have the organizations and the companies that are also involved in this one, which are leading to the carbon footprints. So basically, the concern over here is the carbon footprint that is happening through transportation, through food and household, whether we talk about the electricity, when we are generating the electricity. In India, we are generating a lot of electricity from still today from coal. So these all, we have recycling activities, phone and internet, they all are giving us one or the other reason from where the carbon, one or the other greenhouse gas is emitted, which results into the carbon footprints. The waste that we get, it is not only CO2 but CO2. We have carbon, chlorofluorocarbons, we have nitrogen, methane. They all are emitted while doing all these processes. So we have studied all these gas emissions, and we have applied the penalties, and we analyzes the results, that what was the result on the industry, what was their results. Firstly, when we are talking about the results, we got an optimized result. We find it out that yes, when we are doing we are changing the transportation, the number of transportations we are changing, we find it out that how many trucks are dispatched from the distributors. We find it out that at some point we are reaching at a optimization value. We can see from the table that when we reach to the number of the transportations that is done, number of trucks that are transported, if there are two, then the optimal value of the profit is reached. And if we do beyond that, when if the number of dispatch of the transport trucks is dispatched more, then the then the profit start decreasing it. So it is giving us the optimal result, the best result that could be there when we are calculating the when we are calculating the footprint for the industry by considering all these parameters. So this is to analyze that what is going to be the best output while proceeding, while working on all the parameters of delivering the products to the customers. Similarly, we have also done the analysis. We can see graphically that as the number of kiwi in products increases, we are increasing the profit, and the cost is varying. Then also we see that there is a profit is increasing when we are increasing the cost of the products, but they reaches to the optimal values and they start decreasing it. So every, in case of this one also, if we are increasing the cost of the products, it should be increased to such a point that it's such a point that they will give you profit at one point, and if you start keep on increasing beyond that point also, the profit will start getting decreased from there. So basically when I'm talking about optimization, it gives tells me one thing, that what is out of all the steps which we are doing it to find out the answer for the for our problem, it gives us the best output, that yes, by doing this much of the steps, by increasing this much of the cost of the product, I can get the maximum benefit that is going to give me this one. That is optimal value I have going to be reached. This is what is basically being talked about in both the graphs. In both the graphs we can see that the profit initially it is increasing, but once it reaches the optimal value, then it starts going to be going into the downwards direction that is being talked over here. Similarly, if I talk about the carbon emissions on the profit, see, when we are increasing the initially, when we have done any setup of our industry, we are working on it, we are giving it the we are working on it, and production is going on, manufacturing is going on. Initially there is not going to be that much of the carbon emission, because it is an initial setup. So with the production, if the production is increasing, we will be getting more benefit, and we will be getting more opportunities and more profit from that one. A lot of demand will be raised, and everything will be going in our favor. But with the time and with the continuous use of the machinery, we will see in the following slides also, with the continuous use of the machineries, we can see that there will be a time will be coming after optimized where the optimized values, that a machine start emitting the carbon emissions. There will be a lot of wastage will be happening, a lot of footprints will be carbon footprints will be left out. So that's what is being reflected by this graph also. Initially the profit is increasing, there is no loss in the profit. As we keep on increasing the production and all that is going on, the profit is going to be increasing. But once it reaches the optimal values are at the top, it start coming downwards direction, it is going to get decrease after that one. Same is reflected over here also. When I'm talking about the during transportation, definitely it reflects that they increases as we are increasing the production, the profits will be increasing. But as with the time our transportations will be going on, we are transporting in case of the dual channel, since we are not only catering the traditional way, that is the local shops where we are going and purchasing the products, but we are also catering the customers through online mode. So there is a transportation from both the sides going on. The distributors, the products is made available to the distributors also, they are made available on online platform also. So a lot of transportation activities goes on with the increase in the production of. So in that case, with the increase in the transportation, there will be a lot of carbon emission. And in case of this one, in the previous one we were having this one, that machineries will be emitting less carbon emission initially, but with in case of your transportation, there will be carbon emission from the initial stage itself only. So there will be a lot of carbon emission that will be carried out over here from the machines, from the transportation. That is being reflected over here, that yes, from the very first time the carbon emission because of the transportation affects the profit. And moreover, the penalties are also imposed, which is going to be negatively affecting the profit, because as the product, there will be a lot of carbon emission, there will be a lot of penalties will be imposed on the industry, if, which sooner or lesser is going to be negatively impacting the production, is going to negatively impact the profit of the industry. That is being reflected from these graphs. We can see that after reaching an optimal values, the profits start decreasing. We get the penalties will be there and the profit will be there. Because of the transportation, there will be more penalties, and because of the machineries, there will be less penalties initially, but later on it will penalties will be imposed from there also. As we can see that the figures clearly reflect that production, with the production will increase, the carbon emission will increase. Carbon emission will be increasing, so the penalties will be increasing. So basically, and the profit will be decreasing. If there will be definitely carbon emission, the profit will be negatively impacted. And if industry is need to take care of the sustainable goal of its, so they need to take care of with all these parameters, especially of the carbon emission, because this will be later on negatively start impacting their profit, and the profit will start decreasing. If we can see that the profit in case of your 2D graphs, in not in the 3D graphs, we can see that the profit is going to be decreasing with the increase in penalties, with the increase in the carbon emission cost, that will be negatively impacting the profit of the industries. We have more research that we have carried out, which shows that if we start investing on our machineries, on our such parameters, that instead of using the diesel engines, instead of finding, see, it's the best thing that we start finding this substitutes of our uh, carbon emission pollution, carbon emission vehicles, in a good way, that we can go for some electric vehicles for the transportation. If we start switching and start adopting such type of technologies, we are working on our machineries, we are working on such maintaining them, and we are taking care of them, so that they are not in a condition, they are not worn out after the continuous utilization, and there is less carbon. We invest on all these parameters, then we can reduce the carbon emission from the industries. And we have worked upon this one, and we can clearly see is that if there is no investment, no doubt uh, the profit will be, there will be profit in that one, but there will be a lot of carbon emission from that one also. We can see from here by from the table that there is without investment, there is a lot of carbon emission happening from the industry. But if we invest in that, when we start taking care of it, our production is increasing, we are taking the help of the e-vehicles, we are taking the help of the railway transportations instead of the road transportations for delivering our products for which are at a far distance. Instead of these diesels and petrol engines, we can switch to the e-vehicles, and we can take care of it through the e-vehicles. Then we can decrease the carbon emission from the industry, and it can be seen if we do the investment, and this will ultimately affect, if we do the investment in this way, this will be definitely affecting the profit also. We can increase the profit also, because in that case there will be less penalties on the industry. That we can see that we can 70, in this model only we were able to reduce the carbon emission by 73%. So by just looking into these parameters, we can take a help of it. And similarly, when we talk about the profit and carbon emission through production, if we look into each of the parameters separately, we can see that the carbon emission during the production, initially when the machinery just started, there could be carbon emission a little bit because of the mismanagement, but with the optimal values, they will be, once the optimal value is reached, they will, it will be decreasing, and optimal value is reached, then thus there will be, after long time period, there will be a lot of carbon emission again coming back to the values will be increasing. Why this is happening? Because of not taking care of the machineries with the time, not doing the investment on the machineries, by not looking into that parameter. It's just the focus is on the production, that to increase, just to increase the production and get the profit and all that one, that results in negatively impacted the carbon emission in the uh, industries. In terms of carbon emission, there will be a lot of carbon emission. Similarly, if I talk about, it is the same is reflected in case of the carbon emission. If we are looking into the profit, it is through production, the profit is also going to be, initially it will increase, but as the carbon emission is going to be increasing from the industries, there will be a lot of penalties will be going on, a lot of negatively impact will be there, and ultimately because of this one, the profit will start decreasing. Same goes with over here, is that is CO2 ejection from the shipment, that is from the transportation. That if I talk about that one, initially, if there is going to be, I am delivering my product to the particular XY shop, it will be, the carbon emission will be constant. Whatever is going to be happening on the first day, the same thing will be happening on the 10th day or at the end of the month. The same carbon emission will be there, but whatever there is going to be the carbon emission because of the transportation, that is going to be, it is going to be increasing, because I don't know, the customer could be is living in any part of the world, and my, if he or she, if I am expanding my business, I'm making my products available online also, then the person can living in any corner of the world can uh, order or can demand that product, and accordingly I will be dispatching that one. So this will be calculating my more carbon emission during the transportation, that will be calculated over here. Same has been reflected that in case of the profit also, whether we are talking about the production, whether we are talking about the during carbon emission during the transportation, they all parameters, these all parameters having the same problem, that the profit will be, initially it will be increasing at the beginning of the business, the profit will, there will be increase in the profit, but once they have reached the optimal value, the profit will start decreasing. Now because the problem is my demand is increasing, my customers are increasing, and they are living at different corners, so I have to spend more money on the taking care of my carbon emission because of the transportation, because they will be going at different corners of the world, there will be a lot of expansion in the shops, outlets, so that will be negatively affecting my overall profit if I don't take care of it, the carbon emission. Same thing is happening with the penalties also. In case of the penalties, if I, initially there will be like more carbon emission will be there, but because of the mismanagement, or because it's a beginning of the stage, we don't take care of it. When we are initially beginning the model, we don't look into the parameters of the penalties, so there won't be carbon emission, it will be less initially carbon emission, but with the time, since there will be a lot of production will be going on, the carbon emission will be increasing, that's all going to be negatively impacted, the is going to be negatively impacting. So that's the point over here. When we are talking about sustainability, we need to take care of it all, the carbon emission that is happening When we as industrialist is manufacturing any product and making available to the customer, it's my responsibility as an industrialist that I should be taking care of the environment also. Because in today's scenario, the customers are very much aware of the environment, greenhouse gases. They are far, if I am, instead of all these things, if I am making them available the green products, and which is slightly costlier than the normal products, they are, will be preferring the green products because of this increasing alarming situation of the sustainability that a person needs to take care of. That is the main concern over here. So no matter how many penalties, how many rules and regulations are made by the government, or how many good optimization techniques we utilize it, but if we don't take care of it, we don't find substitute of the things which we are already in existing in the world, like of for the transportation, for doing the investment in our projects only, so that there is less carbon emission, taking care of our machineries and doing investments of that one, and uh, that will be only the best solution. So reduce the carbon emission from the industries, because no matter if penalties are imposed by the government, the penalties are given by the industries. They by just imposing and they by just giving the money will not be solving the problems. We have a lot of industries, those who are investing in some green projects of the government in different countries, where they are investing their money so that they can are able to bring up the positive point, and they can increase the, they can reduce the negative impact of the carbon emission that is being created during the production of their product that is being carried out over here. We can see that the profit is reflected in each of the graph, that with time the profit increases, but it uh, after reaching the optimal values it start decreasing because of the negative impacts of all these parameters, that is carbon emissions, sustainability, if not taken care of it while doing the production, while doing the transportation, penalties. So they all are going to be negatively impacting the production and ultimately the profit also that is being displayed over here. And the same thing is we are talking about the specific energy when we are talking about diversification, that it is going to be the machinery, continuous utilization of the machinery will slowly deteriorate the life of the machinery, and that will be with the life, as the life of the machinery deteriorates, then there will be a lot of negative impacts that will be brought up by the machinery. It will be having a lot of carbon emission and all that one, which is again can be seen that will be negatively impacting the profits of the industry that we are talking about it. So we have basically, when I'm talking about, again the main concerns over here is this one. When we are talking about the when we are talking about sustainability, it's the moral duty of each of the industries to take care of their products in such a way that the customers not only get the products that is healthy and that is green, but they should also be able to provide the customers an environment which is safe for them, which is green, which is not going to be negatively impacting their health late, not today but tomorrow. Definitely they should not be taking care of all these parameters and should not be having a manufacturing the products in such an environment that there is a least carbon emission from the industry in at any stage of the production of the product. And with this, like when we are talking about optimal value, these are some of the graphs of the research that reflects that when we vary any of the cost, any of the parameter of the product is being varied, it it is going to affect the profit of the industry. It will be initially, it might be increasing, but every parameter with the variation, they reaches at a optimal values, and beyond that the profits start decreasing. It does not like that when that it is going to be increasing forever. After some reaching the optimal value, it do changes its notation, and it too changes its influence on the total profit of the industry. That has been talked about this graph also, that when we are changing the uh, uh, holding cost of the product, or we can say that the product when it is with the with the manufacturer only or with the distributor only, then he's holding it, he's taking care of the products, so it increases. If we keep on increasing the, it will reach to a optimal value, and then it start decreasing the profit, it will also start getting negatively impacting. We cannot hold, or we cannot keep the stock for a very longer time period. We cannot keep the stock for a huge stock of a product which is not moving out, and the customers are not demanding it. So all these elements help us to decide that what is going to be the optimal value, how much amount should be kept with the distributor, so that the manufacturer does not face any loss, and manufacturer is not facing any problem, does not face any loss, and even the customer is able to get the product. It should not be happening this way, that the stock should also not be limit, that the customer has to wait for the product, and the manufacturer and the distributor are still in their chain only, they are manufacturing, and then they are going to distribute it. But by the time it will be reaching to the customer, he might be going for some other, opting for the some other product. So optimization, basically, if I talk all about optimization, it basically helps us to decide that how the products should be. In case of our industry, how much product should be kept with us, and what should be its optimal value, how much it should be increased, that it is not going to be negatively impact the customers also. It helps in deciding each and every step of the supply chain, that how much production should be done, how much is the demand, to study how much is the demand of the customer, accordingly the production is going to be done, how much it should be distributed, and at a time the distributors should keep how much of the stock, so that they don't get, it is not negatively going to impact them. So basically optimization is going to help at each of the stage of our decision making, whether I am at a manufacturer, whether I am first of all at a suppliers, that how much stock I should be supplying, raw material I should be supplying. Then I'm at a manufacturer state, how much products I should be manufacturing according to the analyzing the demand of the market. That is going to be decided by my technique. And then how much it should be kept with the distributors. That is all. Each at the decision is going to be best when optimization technique is utilized. You can use the optimization technique. So decide, like I have in my model, we have try to vary each of the cost and see how it is going to be affecting the profit. So how much it can be increased, how much it should be decreased, what should be the demand, how much it is going to be negatively affecting the profit, if it is going to be increasing beyond it, will the manufacturer will be able to cater with all the demands. If I am in my study is imposing any of the parameter, like I am imposing the customization facility where the customers can, personalization facility where the customers can put up a demand and can say that yes, I want this and this one, so how much it should be manufactured, so that I am having a this much of the quantity that I am not at loss. I am able to provide the product to the customer. That is all is being decided by the optimization. So we can say this is the best technique which can be utilized for making the, for taking the decision which is going to be optimal, or which is going to be beneficial for us for running the business. That is all going to be taken care by this one. So basically, if I conclude the complete thing, that we have seen that when we are working on a research, when we are working on a models, like today I'm here to talk about the two things which are very important for any business model to be successful. Is that the first one is the optimization. Being a businessman, my first thing is, if I'm setting up any of the business, my first thing comes in a mind, that how much should be the production that should be done, how much is raw material I should be bringing up, and accordingly how much I should be dispatching my products so that my products are not going to be wasted, my money is not wasted, my products are not wasted. If they are not useful, then how I should be able to change it into some useful product. That is all is going to be done with the help of the optimization technique. That is all is going to be done with this technique, which will help me to decide that what is the number, not the exact, because of the uncertain environment, since we are living in an uncertain environment. But yes, we can go for at least for the fuzzy, we can apply the fuzzy, we can apply the probabilistic, because we don't have the data. No one is having the data beforehand that yes, how much customers they will be having in a queue, they don't have it. So this will help me to decide all these things, that I can apply fuzzy, I can use AI, I can use data science, whereas I can apply all the probabilistic approaches, so that I can analyze that how much data, how much amount of products should be produced, and how much it should be distributed. That is all based, these all are based upon one technique, that is an optimization technique, which is going to be completed with the help of the fuzzy one. Because we can optimize the data, but we don't have the data. For that we need a fuzzy to do our analysis and find out the accurate answer for our problem. That is all based upon the fuzzy optimization technique, that is going to be utilized by any of the industrialists. Second problem turns up, once my business is going on, I need to take care, it's my moral duty as a human being, as an industrialist, that yes, I should be taking care of my environment also. There should not be, my work, my industry should not be negatively impacting the environment. In today's scenario, there are a lot of rules and regulations which are being imposed by the government, by different agencies on the any of the industries. We have a lot of rules and regulations which are imposed, and which we need to take care of it according. One of them is the penalties, which ultimately the governments are imposing on the industries, those who are having a huge carbon emission. With this, they are also having one of the proposals of the, they are also imposing the carbon tax. And with this, they are also giving an opportunity that the industrialists can invest in the green projects of some of the green projects of the government, or some of the green projects of the government in different countries or different states, where the industries can invest and can help the governments and agencies to convert the environment into a more green environment and safe environment for human beings. So it's totally up to the industrialists, that when they are doing the manufacturing, when they are transporting the products, doing the production, first of all, then taking care of their machinery, investing in that one, so that there is a less carbon emission. And there more preference should be given, more the industries try to switch to the more of the green products should be there, and doing more production, so that they can get green products. And then they should be focusing on more to the transportation, that how ultimately they are able to make the products available to the customers. They should be taking care of it, that there should be minimum amount of carbon emission during the transportation also. There are multiple options available for that one also. If we compare the data of rails and trucks, those who are transporting the products for a longer distance, the railways are freight railways are logistics for that, they are preferred over the trucks, because there is going less carbon emission from that one in comparison to that of the trucks. So that is the best of the industries can switch to that one. Otherwise, they can also go for the, if it is going to be in a local area, they can switch for the e-vehicles. This could be one of the one or two measures that the industries can take care of it. Other than that, they can opt for different opportunities, they can work on this one, they can find the different solutions and do some of the investments. So ultimately, there is less carbon emission from them, and less penalties are imposed on them. That's the main concern of all the research that we are doing in today's scenario. Since in every of my sessions I say this thing, that we already on the verge of extinction of our renewable, non-renewable resources. we have utilized them. Now whatever we are having, we are using everything to an extreme level, no matter whatever the resources available in our environment. We are actually utilizing each and everything is available. So we are at a stage where we need to do research and development in such a way that how to utilize them optimizely, so that they are not going to vanish from the environment totally in in coming years or in coming centuries. Everything is available. It's high time that we should learn to utilize these products sustainably and in an optimized way, so that there is a less harm to the environment and more green products are made available to the customers. That is being is all talked about in this research that we are talking about it. That's it from my side. uh, like about the optimization and the green technology. That is all we can talk about it. Like anyone having any point related with this one, they can say.
Okay, thank you very much. First of all, it is a wonderful presentation, Dr. Ruchi.
Thank you.
Me and from other sides, there are a few questions. So I think, can I ask some?
Yes sir, yes sir.
Okay, so I means there are some fuzzy related things you have used in your topic here, whatever the lecture you have delivered today.
Mm-hmm.
So my question is, means when should I use the fuzzy things? Means in which situation?
Best
Is it
is
only for the demand forecasting only?
no, it's not like that. When we can apply fuzzy, we can go see. This is one of the example which I have quoted over here. I have taken my demand to be fuzzy because I was more focused towards my demand. As an industrialist, I was more focused towards my demand analysis. As we can apply the fuzzy wherever we don't have the information about any of the parameter related to the product. It can be we can apply over there when the data is not available related to that product. We can apply over there. So basically wherever there is a lack of information, or we can say there is a lack of data, we can go for the fuzzification over there.
Okay. So there is a probabilistic approach also, means
Yeah.
which is stochastic, and we can use some a lot of data, okay, to means forecast the demand. Okay,
Yes.
so yes, so is it so which one is better actually, that one or this one,
in
using
case
fuzzy?
in case of the when we are talking about the fuzziness, when we are talking, it is covering it has a wider scope, because we can cover a lot of things in this one where we are lack of information. For probabilistic, we need some parameters, we need some data which can be generalized. But in fuzzy, if we don't have much of the information, we just know, we can say that we know some initial little bit of knowledge about of the document, of the data, then we can go for this thing. But probabilistic, we know if we have a little bit of data, we can generalize that one, but we need a few of the information in case of probabilistic approaches.
Okay. Okay, so sustainability means right now, what do you think means how can you know that the climate change and everything, a lot of things are happening in today's world.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so much glacier is melting and this one. So what is your suggestion? It means how can we improve so that our future generation will also survive, and we can also have a sustainable industry, so that they can also product, means a product, we can also achieve the product according to the demand, and also the sustainability or sustainable parameters are also means maintained. So is there any suggestion, or how can you interpret this one
Uh,
for real time effect?
in
Means how
case of
can the, yes.
this one, if I talk about now, I have two examples for this one. One example, I'll quote my one of my work only. I have seen when we were working on some glass industries, and we have seen that if we do the investment in some design of the flask in which we are actually melting the all the mold after before forming the glass, if we there is a lot of carbon emission during that process when it melting is going on. If we change a little bit, we work on it, like I was talking about, if we keep invest in our technologies, if we work on our machineries, if we invest in our design of a flask, that there is not the carbon emission out of the funnel. If it is stored like some there's some technologies used where we are not doing the carbon emission is not going outside the funnel, it is just collected and it is like converted in some black coal and all that one, we are using the technology, then we can reduce the carbon emission to a lot of extent. So basically one parameter when we are talking about the looking into the production cell only, we need to take care of all these parameters that we don't emit the carbon or any of the gases out of industry and out, especially in open air. There are a lot of technology which collect all that one, and later on it is converted into some useful products. That could be one of the thing. And the second thing, in today's scenario, everywhere there is a lot of promotion that also is done in this way, that the industries are or especially the transportation, they are shifting towards the e-vehicles, like I was stressing upon the a lot of one. The more now the every country's more focus is on batteries, the like e-vehicles. They are doing more investment in e-vehicles for the transportation. Moreover, they are doing the transport, we were having problem in this one with the charging points also. There are not a lot of charging points available. So now their research is going on, and they have developed the pathways or the roadways where if your car is you are driving that car on that roadways, the car will automatically get charged because they have manufactured in such a way. If this can be successfully applied in all over the world, then a lot of carbon emission can be reduced from transportation also. And like no matter you're using diesel or petrol car, it can be switched to the e-vehicle, because if our pathways are or roadways are going to be charging a vehicle, there will be no stoppage and the vehicles can go on for a longer run. So it is going to be convenient for this one. So these are somewhat projects which are going on, and it can be extended to the world, so that everyone can take the benefit and the carbon emission can be reduced to the lot lesser quantity. There is less chances of carbon emission if these are implemented. Practically we can go for such type of options, that would be the best one.
Okay. There is a question from the audience side. Uh, as suggested, fuzzy model.
Mm-hmm.
A fuzzy model is to be used when we don't have information.
See, if I talk about the fuzzy model, I need two things. I need at least the bracket, that how much variation is going to be there from minimum to maximum. It is not like that you should not be having knowledge of the data not at all. It should be having minimum to maximum, that how much it is
Means
going
the
on.
range. You're talking about the range,
Yes,
right?
yes, yes.
Okay. So I think the if the range is given, then we can means have an just educated idea.
Yes,
I
we
think
can
so.
go for that one.
Educated, and in case of probabilistic approach, means a lot of data is needed. So
We
I think basically this approach is applicable for the small industry sectors who do not have that much investment to collect the
hmm.
market information or to market survey or market research. So because it needs a lot of effort, lot of timing and money also.
Yes, that we can say.
So the MSME registered companies which are small and medium industry, they can, I
Hmm.
think it is useful for them,
All the
right?
startups that are coming up, all the companies that are it's starting their journey, they don't have that much lack of information, they can go for such type of things.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so that is all from my side and the student side. So now over to Aishwarya ma'am. If you have any question or any other any question from the students.
I can see there is one
Okay,
more
so
question.
another question came also. Whether circular economy could help sustainability?
Yes, this is also a very good parameter when we talk about circular economy. That is also going to be very good one. See, that is what I was saying now. When we have reached to a situation where all the non-renewable resources are already out. Now we have to, whatever is with us, we have to manage them in such a way that they don't vanish it after centuries. So circular economy could be work on this one, that we are reusing our products only. We are focusing on reuse, redevelopment, and all that one.
Okay. Okay, so over to Aishwarya ma'am now.
I think we don't have any further questions, so I hope we have given a clear understanding to our audience. And thank you, Dr. Ruchi, for your valuable time and also uh, making this session active. And the way you have delivered that, as you know, right now, global warming is over and global boiling has started, and there are so many different circumstances that we can see change in climate, and all that's happening because of this carbon footprints of some other reason. And as Sir have mentioned that you have published this paper in the impact factor, 10 impact factor. So congratulations on this. And in future, we would like to collaborate with some more research with you. And once again, congratulations for your publication as well.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
And thank you so much for your valuable time once again.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. So, thank you, my dear participants. As you know, today's session is over, and tomorrow we don't have any session, and day after tomorrow we have a last session for this final FDP of this 10 days FDP program. So, before you leave the session, don't forget to fill up the feedback form. Before you leave the session, make sure of that you fill up the feedback form. And for your information, once our FDP program will be over, so you will be getting a certificate in the website, in our website, that is innovaworld.in/updates. So you can find your certificates on the respective portal itself. You will just get an intimation mail to check on the same procedures. So after that, you can go back and check and find your certificates with your respective name that you're filling up in the feedback form. So hope you're enjoying the session and give us your feedback on this FDP program. All right, you can leave the session. Thank you, everyone. Good night.